you know, what role might I play? He's talking about networking. I had been studying networking and networks for 40 years, and how do I say that to somebody? You know, he's doing a workshop on networking, and I come to it. I don't know how to talk about it the way he does, but I know so much, and I've been studying the theory of it. And here along comes a gentleman who can speak about it. I was floored. That is the guy I need for my visions. He can actually say what I'm thinking. So thank you, Michael. That was a wonderful talk. Now, what we've planned to do next is to break up for lunch and come back here and do some networking. The networking that I envision for this period, for the next hour, involves a little book that's inside of your conference pack. It's called the Information Advocate's Notebook. And in the Information Advocate's Notebook is some text about the theory of information advocacy as I've collected it. It defines information advocate, it defines social supports, it defines social capital. Those are ideas, but the most important idea, as Michael has reminded us, is to listen to other people and take their ideas or take their needs and their resources and get them down on paper or get them into a computer or get them just listening and remembering them so that you can introduce other people to complement what it is that one person needs and the other has to offer. And the art of collecting the needs and resources from other people and writing them down is something we need to practice to be information advocates. And I say practice it because we all have some skill at writing things down. We all have to think about, however, when we write something down, what is the person who reads this going to understand about it? So we've included some check marks at the top of each listing page. The check marks help focus. Is this a resource? Is this a offer? Is it about goods? Is it about services? Those are important for being able to search the database. Once we have built an online web tool of some kind that can allow us to search through the listings, so we want to be able to structure it so that we don't have so many listings to look at that we can't live. One of the interesting books that have come out recently in the last few years is a book called Here Comes Everybody. Okay, and the author of this has examined the issue of, well, what happens when 6 billion people start writing to you? Okay, we're going to end up with a world in which everybody has an opportunity, hopefully, to be able to get on the internet and write for everybody else. And we can't possibly filter all that information ourselves. So the notion of information advocacy is simply to add to the capacity for filtering, focusing, retrieving, and transmitting information. Similar to what the library has doing. We all need more librarians. We need a librarian for our high-rise housing complex. Somebody there who knows everybody else in the complex, knows what they need, and can recommend exchanges when that's appropriate. That can't be done by the library. It can't be done on Google. It can't be done by the internet. It has to be done by a human being who lives in that housing building and listens to people and acts as a trustworthy conveyor of information among the people. And trust is the most important part of that. So this afternoon, I would like us to, if you look at the yellow page in your conference pack, it has a list of 4 roundtable discussions. The 4 discussions, if we don't have enough people, we can convert that into 4 periods of talk among all of us together. But we can see, first we'll see how many people stay for the afternoon, and then we'll decide whether we're going to meet as a group and talk about the 4 issues one at a time, or we're going to separate into small groups and discuss each of those issues. Now I've been taken the liberty of offering some questions about each of those 4 areas. So one is governance. So if we form this network of information advocates and we define what an information advocate is, how do we make sure that the people that are participating are appropriate to the network? So one of my thoughts is that these people have to have support from the community they're serving, and that's the clue for the rest of us to say, oh, they belong here because the people they're serving support them. So how do we know that? We'll have to develop over time some criteria for understanding how somebody fits into their community and how do they fit into information advocacy. So I'm trying to lay out this vision, as Michael suggests, without dictating. I call myself an instigator, not a dictator. This is a process, and we need to move forward through it together, and the network of information advocates needs to define what and how we proceed. So at some point we'll build some sort of electronic database. At this point we have notebooks for ourselves, and you can begin this process with the little notebook I handed out during the lunch period, where we are meeting and talking to other people that are here about their needs and their resources, so we can begin the art of writing listings right here today and take that home with us and continue. You don't need to have the Information Advocates Network online in order for you to serve your community by listening and writing things down and helping the people right around you. Okay, so that's a process that you can carry on yourself without needing the rest of us. But we should try to plan for continuing meetings like this, or other kinds of more focused meetings around the issues that we think are needed to build the network, to become familiar with each other and our work as information advocates. We all have different issues, and we're very passionate about our various issues. But the notion of helping people write listings and get those listings to the other information advocates that we need to share, because if the listing doesn't bear fruit right among the people you already know, then you need to move to another level. And how that all works is going to have to be decided as we move forward. So I thank you for coming today. We're going to break for lunch, and you can go downstairs, I believe, if somebody's... What?